Hammer's up, everyone! I present to you the Legion. Wait, it's just Legion? It's Legion. With a little commentary. Cue the music. Dun, 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 dun. Cue Khadgar.
Andranor.
There he is.
Old rivals sought to bring Azeroth to its knees.
That's right, we busted their asses.
And while the Iron Tide was quelled,
Yep.
they were but servants of a more ancient foe
There we go.
that has not forgotten our defiance. The vengeance of the burning shadow has come.
There it is. Is that Kazakh again? Broken Isles. They broke. 110. Water and stuff. New dungeons and raids, we love that shit. Artifact weapons. Oh, I can't wait to explain that one. That's gonna be ridiculous. Glass halls, not a garrison, we swear. Look, here we go. Cue Khadgar again.
And in our most desperate hour,
He's a great narrator.
we must wield the power of the enemy.
There it is!
Against them.
Demon Hunter, hero class! They can tank. Yes, they can tank.
For we stand once more upon the brink of destruction.
Slam it down.
The Burning Legion has returned.
Damn, son. Sometime next year. Alright, so there you have it. World of Warcraft Legion is the next expansion. My balls are tingly. I am excited. Doesn't look like it. Dude, I'm tired. We had a huge live stream this morning and it was fucking amazing. But this is going to be pretty ghetto. I'm just going to be going over the same slides that you probably already saw. And kind of getting my thoughts a little bit on things. I mean, let's just start by looking at some screenings, shall we? So these are the Broken Isles right here. What the hell's wrong with this thing? It's like, oh, weird. There we go. This is the Broken Isles. This is the continent in which the expansion takes place. I believe there's some other areas where the expansion takes place too. I think one or two. I don't really remember. But this is where we're going to be doing our leveling. Dalaran is back. That's pretty cool. I think it's a revamped Dalaran. I forget how they get it there. There's Gul'dan. And there's just another Icarus. That sounds familiar. What is it? How do you say that? Icarus? Sounds familiar. Then we have Arise and Wield, the Ashbringer and Doomhammer. I was confused when I heard this. I was like, what does that even mean? Become a Demon Hunter, new hero class. I'm pretty sure people are excited about that. I'm pretty sure leather wearers are not so excited. All rip rogues, rip monks, rip everybody else, rip druids. Search the Broken Isles, find the Pillars of Creation, stop the Burning Legion. Yes, the Titans are involved in this expansion, which is pretty awesome. So, artifacts. This is the first thing we're going to talk about. This is, think of Final Fantasy XIV relic weapons, but with a twist. So, begin your journey with an epic adventure. Venture to the broken shore where heroes fell. Delve into the sealed tomb of an ancient Vicrul king. Retrieve shards of Frostmourne from the base of Icecrown. Weapons power is an extension of your own. Earn artifact power as you adventure through. Spend artifact power to unlock traits. Customize your weapon. Choose your path to greatness. Now, so what happens is every spec, so what is it, like 36? Every spec in the game will have their own weapon. I guess at level 100 you get this weapon, and you can power it up. It's almost like, it feels like that Path of the Titans idea they kind of had, you know? Except they put it into this artifact. So Ret Paladins, for instance, will get the Ashbringer. Which kind of sucks, right? So people who like have had Ashbringer for all these years, you know, like every server, like on our server, Sparty Smallwood, he has an Ashbringer. I think someone else does too. Like every server has like 1 or 2 Ashbringers. Now it's like everybody has an Ashbringer, and you can customize it. That's, at least you'll know you have the original. Yes, and I shaved. I know people are wondering, did you shave? Yes, he did. So you get artifact power according to Blizzard by doing just raids, dungeons, heroic dungeons, mythic raids, PvP. Battlegrounds, rated battlegrounds. I think there's a bunch of ways you get the actual artifact power, and then you use this power to get your abilities and go through the tree. I'm not sure if you have to start at one end or the other. I forget what they said, but for instance, this one's called Echo of the High Lord, where when you use Templar's Verdict or Divine Storm, your Ashbringer will mimic the action after 2 seconds. They gave an example of the Icebringer and Soul Reaper, which I believe is the Frost Death Knight artifact weapon. So once again, every spec, I repeat, spec will have a weapon. So Ret, Holy, Prot, and then for, you know, druids, it would be like Boomkins, Healers, Guardians, and Feral. And this is an ability called Arise and Serve. Basically, you can, Death Knights have the option to raise themselves. So you can just, if you die, you can just B-res yourself. Kind of like an Ankh with Shamans. Once again, very ghetto. I'm just going to go through these slides and hopefully the right ones come up. And then you can forge your weapon. You can choose a different color for it. Magni Bronzebeard forged the original Ashbringer, and he can forge it anew to make it stronger than ever. So depending on, Purified Ashbringer, you can change the color, do a bunch of stuff with it. Let's see what else they have here. This, I think, was an example of a Mistweaver monk weapon. And let's continue going. These are the different variations of the Ashbringer you can get. So the Ashbringer can go through very different forms. Same thing with the Doomhammer. This is for enhancement shamans. Feral druids will kind of look like this. I guess they get like their own kind of like armor on their bodies. And before we even... Okay, so let's go back to what they were talking about. So the way this is going to work is... the artifact is linked to like a storyline. So basically, you'll get like a quest. You'll probably go to... let's see, what was the example they gave that I can kind of... For instance, Death Knights. Death Knights have to retrieve the shards of Frostmourne from the base of Icecrown. So they probably have to go to an NPC. You go through like some sort of lore story. You get your weapon, and then you're off. Then from level 100 to 110, you level up the weapon. You get all your power. Like I said, it's almost like Final Fantasy and having like a relic plus 1 weapon, except really more involved because you have to actually pick talents, or you can pick all the talents that your weapon has, and it just makes your weapon stronger. Now, that raises questions as to whether your weapon is eventually your best in slot weapon. So is it like, do we still get cool mythic weapons? Is this going to be like our only model? Can we constantly change our model? I mean, having the Ashbringer for the entire expansion is pretty cool for a Ret Paladin, but is there a two-hander that drops off of one of the new raids that maybe is better than your artifact, or will your artifact always be your best in slot? I shot an email or a Twitter message to them over there asking that questions to see if we actually get an answer for that one. And then now let's get to the next area. Class orders. So garrisons are gone. So the Alliance and Horde are at each other's throats. Again, each class bands together to face this existential threat. Why do they use these big words? You are their leader. Focus on class identity. Your order halls are your base of operations for your entire class. Shaman Conclave overlooking the Maelstrom, Paladin Templar Sanctum beneath Light's Hope Chapel, Warlock Enclave on a Legion Portal World. This would be an example. This would be what the Paladin one looks like underneath Light's Hope Chapel. Now, the way they worded this was basically you're the class leader, and in this phased area, you see other Paladins from your server or from the Cross Realm. I'm not sure how packed it can get. And I believe you have followers. Let me see, is that screenshot here? Yes. So you have these things called champions. It's basically the evolution of the Draenor system with the followers. The fewer followers equals more meaningful. Not raising an army this time. Think Knights of the Round Table. More world integration interaction. Now, this is the problem with Draenor, right? With Draenor, all you did was you used your resources, you took your follower, and you sent them away on a quest, right? What's going to happen here is, let's say in the instance of a Paladin, one of your followers could be Tyrion Fordring. Probably not, because he doesn't really follow, he leads, but whatever. Tyrion Fordring is your follower. He goes out somewhere in Northrend, and he finds like this cave with a bunch of scourge that he needs to be defeated. So you send him out on a mission, on a scouting mission. He'll go out there, he'll go to the cave, find the cave, he won't attack. Usually in Draenor, the followers would just finish the mission, you complete it, you get your shit. No, they'll come back to your order, your class hall, tell you, hey, I went over there's a bunch of monsters, you want to go together and kill them? So you basically, that's what it says by more world integration interaction. Your followers are very few, there's not going to be a lot of them, but they'll kind of do the missions with you or tell you where to go to complete the missions. So it makes it like your followers are just kind of like your informants. Sometimes they will actually finish the missions and come back, but I find it really cool that you're going to have all of that. From what I know, they didn't mention anything about professions, which is really cool, which means that we get to go back out into the Broken Isles, back into the world, and do our farming and go out there and fight nodes with other people. Dungeons. So I believe they're launching with 9 dungeons. One of the dungeons is Vault of the Wardens. This is the Demon Hunter prison. It's a Warden maximum security facility. Begin the hunt for Illidan. So this is the Vault of the Wardens. I believe this is where Gul'dan goes in the beginning of the cinematic to free Illidan, and then from there I have no idea what happens. So we have that dungeon. We have Eye of Ashara, Darkheart Thicket. You can't even see the last two. Hold on. Neltharion's Lair, Helheim, Suramar City, and the Violet Hold. The Violet Hold is going to be a lot different than the one that we did. So you can scream rehash content all you want. It's probably not rehashed. It's not rehashed from what they said, I believe. Can this thing work at all today? Raids. This is pretty cool. The first raid is going to be maximized. Jesus, fuck. Is going to be the Emerald Nightmare. It's going to have 7 bosses. Emerald Dream, Twisted and Shadowed, Pursue Cenarius, Face Xavius. Up to this point, I'm going with there's a lot of content right now. I'm kind of happy about this. That's the first raid. Second raid is going to be Suramar's Palace. Or Suramar Palace is going to be 10 bosses, so 17 total. Wait, let me make sure. 17. Home to the Nightwell, center of Suramar's power, face off against Gul'dan. The way they worded it, this is basically where the last standoff is against Gul'dan. And I think we finally get to kill him, I hope. And this is basically the first tier of raiding of the expansion. People are going crazy like, oh, this is it? Just one raid? No, this is just the first tier. I'm sure there's going to be other patches because they mentioned Ashara is there. Ashara is in the expansion. There's stories with Sylvanas, Turalyon, a bunch of people. Turalyon or Turalyon? Turalyon. This is a picture of Suramar Palace. Once again, they were very adamant about letting us know that the dungeons in this expansion do not look like anything like Iron Horde anymore. So, I mean, honestly, after like 2.5 years of looking at Iron Horde shit, I'm kind of glad we see like a palace like this to look at. And then Demon Hunters. Demon Hunters, I believe they wear cloth and leather. It's leather, right? Yes, I think so. This is a tank. They play a DPS spec and a tank spec. The DPS spec is called Havoc. The tank spec is called Vengeance. And, dude, they look badass. I'm actually going to be playing one next expansion. I already told my GM in the Twitter message. I'm like, hey, dude, I am playing a Demon Hunter. They have a lot of mobility. And here we go. This is why I believe we're going to get like 20 million subscribers back. Demon Hunters can double jump. Yeah, double jump. So then we're going to go on to PvP. So they changed the entire PvP system. Like, I'm not even fucking with you. They changed everything. So at PvP, you basically have your own talent tree. You level through honor levels. So you can go 1 through 50 honor levels. I guess you get more honor by going to battlegrounds and rated BGs and arenas, whatever. So basically, you have your own talent tree specifically meant for PvP. So they're trying to separate that PvE and that PvP shit. You know, all these years they're trying to balance both of them. You know, you fuck around with the Warrior Blade Storm in PvE, it fucks up the PvP one. PvP Gladiator Stance gets nerfed. PvE DPS goes down for Gladiator Stance. No one cares about it. Everyone goes Fury or Arms, whatever. So now basically, as you level through the honor system, you unlock more of your talents. And you basically pick and choose which ones you want. So this is kind of crazy. It kind of makes me think, I don't really PvP anymore. I might probably be PvPing in this expansion. How does that change for like arena players, like the top gladiators? Will they have to like relearn everything now because you're going to get a shit ton of new abilities that have nothing to do with what you've been doing for the past 2 years? And here's more. You've unlocked a new bonus option. You can only choose one bonus per row. So this is kind of telling you how the progression of it goes. These are just some examples of the abilities. So Abolish Magic would be just kind of like a priest with the spell magic. Blood and Soil seems pretty cool. Bloodlust now has a 45-second cooldown, but only affects you and your friendly target when casted, which leads me to believe that they're bringing back Bloodlust to arenas, and I'm assuming in 2v2s that's going to be OP. Initiation increases your critical strike chance by 30% against targets who are above 80% health. You got Mind Quickness, which is spell haste increased by 15%. A lot of these are passives. And you got Necrotic Strike, which is instant. Vicious Strike that deals 100% weapon damage and absorbs the next 5,000 healing received by the target, lasts 10 seconds, replacing Scourge Strike. So it looks like a lot of these abilities just replace the ones that you've already been using. I mean, for a guy like me, it'll probably just get some getting used to. And they have Prestige. I believe Chilton even referenced Call of Duty on this one. And he said that basically it's like Call of Duty. Once you hit 50, you can either choose to just stop there, because at 50 you get all the abilities. You don't get any more. You're done. Once you go through 50 honor levels, you're good to go. But right here, you may trade in your honor levels to earn the next prestige level. Your honor level will reset to 1, just like in COD. You will lose access to all your honor bonuses until you earn them again. Which I guess leads me to believe that you have to reset. You kind of can't PvP normally in arenas until you prestige again. And the only reason to prestige again is for cosmetic reasons. So earn portrait badges. You get like this warhorse. And you get unique PvP artifacts. Like this is a shield. I'm probably going to do this more than likely. And these are just some screenshots in general of the expansion that came with the press kit that I received. I mean, it looks pretty good. I mean, the expansion is looking great. There's a lot of content, man. I mean, let me get to the webpage because that's going to show a lot more of the actual expansion. These are actually some of the artifact weapons that were given to me in the press kit. A lot of the Ashbringer variants. Looks like a one-handed sword. More Ashbringer, more Ashbringer, more Ashbringer, more Ashbringer, more Ashbringer, more Ashbringer. I think they're emphasizing that they want people to have the Ashbringer a lot. Looks like a bunch of cool daggers here. Swords. Shield. I didn't even see this shield. This shield looks awesome. I believe that's the Death Knight two-handed weapon for blood, I think. It would be unholy. Another one-hander. These are just some pictures of different demon hunters. That's a Havoc DPS spec demon hunter. I believe we might see yeah, there we go. That's a tank. That's what the tank looks like, which is fucking amazing. I can't wait. And that's pretty much it for just the slideshow. Now, in terms of the actual website, if you go just Google Legion, you can opt into the beta. There is no pre-purchase yet. You can watch everything here. It'll tell you more about the demon hunters. It'll show you more pictures of the artifacts, the Ashbringer. They're emphasizing the Ashbringer. Explore the Broken Isles. This is basically what it's going to look like on the map. Pretty cool, if you ask me. And then here are the heroes and villains that we know of just for the release of the expansion. I mean, obviously, Ashara's involved. There's going to be a lot more. Maybe an old god will be thrown in there. They didn't confirm, but they always talk about the sleeping whatever. Maeve, Shadow Song. I forgot. This is the chick that was like really obsessed with capturing Illidan and Black Temple. We know who she is. Xavius. He's from the Emerald Nightmare. That's going to be pretty cool. Anduin, all grown up, looks like potato. Tide Mistress Athissa, who I believe says Queen Ashara, former leader of the ancient Night Elves, rules the Naga with supreme authority. Her servants are many, but few can match the fanatical devotion of Athissa. So this is one of her, like, I guess, right-hand woman lieutenants. Again, Greymane, who wants to fight anyone that threatens the Alliance. Dargrul the Underking. I have no idea who the hell this guy is, actually. I have no idea who this guy is. You can read that later on your own. Khadgar, Gul'dan, Sylvanas, Windrunner is actually involved in the storyline, but there was no mention of her in any of the slides. Like, she just doesn't want to die, basically. I think she's going to have to choose between protecting herself or her people, and there's some crazy shit's going to happen. I think she might have something to do with Bolvar in the future. I don't know. And then, obviously, Illidan Stormrage, who it looks like from the cinematic, he gets freed in the beginning of everything. Prepare for the invasion. Look at all the screenshots, and these are all the actual features that you get. New continent, Broken Isles, Demon Hunter class, artifacts, customizable weapons that grow in power as you do, class-specific hulls and followers, new dungeons, new raids, new world bosses, level cap of 110, PvP revamp progression system, which I just showed you. Improved transmogrification system. This is something that I didn't even catch. It says we're improving the transmogrification system, allowing you to collect item appearances and save your favorite outfits without sacrificing precious bag space. That's pretty cool. That's something I think that a lot of transmog freaks have been going over. And I don't mean freak isn't bad, because I do the same thing. I collect certain swords, shields for my transmog. Improved social features, which they didn't really speak about too much. Character boost, immediately raise one character to level 100, and there's more. So here's the thing. Now let's talk brass tacks here. So we're down to about 5.6 million subscribers. Not too bad. I mean, to me, like I said, that's 5 million, probably more than the next MMO that has a subscription base or is free to play, in my opinion. Unless it's like, I don't know, those ones in Korea that have like a bazillion people. I can't even name half of them. There's no incentive right now to keep people subbed to Draenor. So I'm assuming usually 8 to 11 months is usually the window of time in which an expansion takes to get, to finish. So that's about 3 quarterly reports we're going to go through, maybe a 4th. And I think this part down here where it says "and more," I think that's going to involve something. Now, the ideas that we had with speaking to my chat and friends was, one of them was obviously, if you do an annual pass, like they did with Diablo 3 annual pass, you get D3 for free. They could do an annual pass and you get Legacy of the Void StarCraft 2 for free. Or even better, this would be the big one, is sign up for the annual pass, get access to the Overwatch closed beta. Because the Overwatch beta the Overwatch button just hit our launcher. So I'm assuming they might do something, but you can't pre-order it yet. I really want to know what you guys think. I mean, the Demon Hunter looks really cool. I haven't seen any actual tanking videos of it yet, but it does seem like they are very mobile. So I would kind of compare them to a warrior and how they can move. They have like I believe one of their abilities has them like, they have the double jump, number 1, 12 million subs, double jump. They have like this, step back, jump backwards kind of thing. They have like a double charge kind of ability. Kind of like a monk roll. They could just go roll really quick, except they just dash. So they're very, very fast, and they're very mobile. And I'm anxious to see what kind of abilities they can have as tanks. So I'm definitely re-rolling Demon Hunter. Don't know what I'm going to name him yet. Taladin is probably lame, because Illidan, Taladin. We'll figure it out. The artifact system seems really cool. I like the fact that they're involving a lot more solo content into the game, because this is basically like your artifact. And it also almost, like for me, I was telling my stream, I feel like I want to create one of every class and level every single spec just to have every single artifact maxed out. Which I believe this is the replacement for legendaries, is what I'm guessing. So everyone can kind of feel like they have their own legendary kit. Instead of everyone getting like a ring or everyone getting a cloak, everyone gets their own personal weapon that you have to level and take care of on your own. But, I still kind of like legendaries that are specific to certain classes or specs, but if we don't get it and we stick with artifacts, I'd be happy with that. So in terms of content, this expansion is full of it. Now, I know there's a naysayers out there, well, when the expansion comes out, there's only going to be like 99% of what they said in the expansion. Look, I'm taking it for what it is. We're going to be leveling from 100 to 110. Broken Isles is a new place. I mean, they have really thrown all their eggs in one basket. They have so many, power hitters in this expansion. I mean, you're talking, Tomb of Sargeras, right? Tomb of Sargeras. Tomb of Sargeras. You got Gul'dan back. He's there as an enemy. They already hinted at Illyria and Towelliee. Ashara, Xavius, the Emerald Nightmare, Sylvanas. It's just endless. The amount of players, popular names they have just thrown. Illidan, Demon Hunters, new hero class. We're gonna launch with 17 bosses, 2 raids, and one of them is the Emerald Goddamn Nightmare. I'm pretty sure the lore nerds are gonna go crazy because they're gonna ask themselves, where the fuck did the Emerald Nightmare even come from? What's going on? And then you have Suramar Palace, which this is where you're gonna fight Gul'dan. Finally, we could just end that story. You still got the Burning Legion at the same time attacking. I mean, who knows what's going to happen, man? I mean, right now there's so many, power hitters in this expansion that, there's no way this is going to be a 1-year expansion. I'm assuming this might be like a nice 2-year expansion that's probably going to have a nice amount of content. I'm hoping for maybe 3 content patches. After we're done with Suramar Palace and the Emerald Nightmare, I'm assuming Ashara, possibly an Old God, Enzoth, or N'Zoth, as they want to say. I say Enzoth, is still around. So we have a long way to go. I mean, Anduin's in the story, King Rin. It's just a lot, man. It's a lot, and I'm happy. I'm happy that they have this much content. It's going to launch with 9 dungeons. Ian specifically said that he's definitely not doing right by us with the dungeons because they are useless to us once we hit max level and we're geared out. So they're going to find a way for the dungeons to stay relevant all through the expansion, and they're going to add more. So we only had 8 this expansion. We're already going to start with 9 at the start of this one. They didn't mention anything about, people were saying, they want 10-man mythic mode instead of 20. We'll see what they say about that. There's going to be an interview this Sunday with the developers, answering questions from, I guess, like Twitter, social media, people who are there at Gamescom. And yeah, so that's it, man. World of Warcraft Legion. It's pretty amazing. We had a great time today on my stream. I was happy that I was able to share that experience with everyone. We had about, I think, like 27,000 people on my channel. That's the most we've ever had. And that was also thanks to Blizzard for allowing us to restream their broadcast, the broadcast of their reveal. And I was just able, it was very emotional for me today. I was able just to share everything, Usually whenever an expansion gets revealed, I'm usually at BlizzCon, and I'm usually just sending, text messages, like, or sending, Twitter messages. Hey, man, oh my God, it's pandas. It's fucking pandas, And I just don't. I didn't want it to be like that this time, So I decided, you know what, stay home. I wasn't gonna fly to Gamescom anyway. And yeah, we got to have a good time today. So if you guys want to hear more about the expansion, I'll be talking about it probably all week on my live stream, twitch.tv/Towelliee. Yeah, I'm having a good time, man. I'm still raiding right now in Draenor. We are 6 of 13. We just killed Gorfiend on Mythic. We're working on a few bosses tonight, but I'm pretty sure we're just going to be chilling tonight, talking about the expansion. Come on down. Give a talk. Peace. How did he age like 7 years in like an expansion? I don't get that. Magic.